Always hear the maracas.
The maraca.
No, we know. Welcome, everyone. You thought you could get rid of us? You're wrong. We're back. Nesco and Geek Random Sunday Rogue Broadcast. This is what, 3 days in a row?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
When Saturday being 2 on Saturday, so four broadcasts. That's no different if we were in Salt Lake City. We'd be doing the same kind of thing.
Exactly.
Now look at Red over here. We help him out with his channel. He gets a little bit of notoriety, and then he starts calling people bitches. Look at Red over here. We help him out with his channel. He gets a little bit of notoriety, and then he starts calling people bitches. That's right. We help him out with his channel. He gets a little bit of notoriety, and then he starts calling people bitches. That's right. We help him out with his channel. He gets a little bit of notoriety. And all right, who is that?
Not me.
Probably TJ. Hang on.
Probably.
Oh, no, it sounds like it might be Rob.
Nope, wasn't me.
Is it you, TJ?
One for you and two for me.
Aw, that's kind of funny, though.
Yeah, it actually kind of worked out.
It's kind of like just this loop.
Yep.
TJ Grandpa.
Yeah.
Okay, what's what? I don't get the grandpa stuff.
I guess homeschool kind of equates some of your stories with like, oh, back in my day, kind of. I think that's what that is. He can.
I don't know. Maybe some of us. Well, I think part of it is nostalgia. Is in some ways stems from disappointment about how the future actually turned out.
It could be.
If that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. This is not exactly the world I thought I was going to be living in. And some of that is, I'd say, on me, like, if you have expectations that aren't low, you're going to be disappointed in life. But I think the other one was just the kind of world that I was, like, the environment, the way things were, I think, growing up, and it all went away. And, we're adapting as best we can, but we've been talking about this on the other episodes where everybody's kind of scattered across the four corners of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Like the internet's done a lot of great stuff, as we've said a million times, but, there's been a cost. And the cost has been the fact that people really don't communicate or spend time with those in the same area. So, that's kind of all I have to say about that.
Well, I can add to it from a different perspective, and Bull Rush actually made me kind of think about it with some of his comments here in the chat. And it happened to me Friday evening. I was going to go to the convenience store and pick up some drinks, something to eat, that type of thing. And so I grabbed my keys, walk out, lock the door, go to the car, and then realize I grabbed the wrong set of keys. I grabbed my work keys, not my house keys that have my car keys. And now I had just locked myself out of the house.
Oh, shit.
And I didn't have my phone on me because the convenience store is very close. I was, seriously was going to be gone in under 5 minutes, gone and back. And because I wasn't paying attention, I scooped up the wrong set of keys and locked myself out of the house. And it's like, great, now what do I do? Because it's like, well, I could call my dad, except I don't have my phone. And I don't know off the top of my head, I don't know my dad's phone number because it's in my phone. My phone does all the memory. I don't, it's not like when I was a kid or when we were kids that before cell phones, when you memorized phone numbers.
Yeah.
Because I was telling these guys that it's like, look, I still to this day have both of my grandmother's phone numbers memorized, and one of them is dead. And the other one doesn't live in the house that had that phone number either. And so it's like, but I have two completely useless phone numbers that, I could, on any phone anywhere, I could pick it up and call that phone number and, talk to whoever has that number now. And, but my dad's cell phone number, I know it starts with an 8. I know that much, but after that, it's like, I don't know. But I also knew that being that it was Friday evening, he was probably out doing something.
Right.
And so even if I could have gotten a hold of him, it's like, okay, well, now what? Because the reason why call your dad? Well, my dad has a spare key to my house.
Right.
But it's like, okay, if I can get a hold of him, odds are he's probably not home. And so he's going to have to drop doing whatever he's doing. And if he's out of town, which he could have been, it's like, well, I'm double fucked because he's still not going to be able to get to me in a convenient time. And so the only thing I could do was, well, it's a good thing it's not cold outside. It was a decent day. And there was still enough daylight going on that it's like, well, I'm walking to my dad's house, and that round trip going to his house and then back to my house with the spare key was a 5-mile trip because he lives about 2.5 miles away. And it took me about an hour and 10 minutes to walk all the way to his house, where initially when I was first walking there, I was like, God, I hope he's not there, because my pride. I'm like, hey, Dad, can you give me a lift back? And here's the spare key, because I was an idiot. By the time I got to his house, I was like, oh God, I hope he is here. I really don't want to have to turn and walk all the way back now. Well, I got there and realized, nope, he ain't here. But I also knew how to get into his house to get the spare key. And so I got the spare key and turned right around and walked my happy ass all the way back to my house. And, if I had been further away, it could have been a whole different story. If it had been the middle of winter and I had done that, it could have been a different story, because I was in, t-shirt and jeans type of thing. I wasn't dressed for dreary weather because I was just going to get in the car and drive down the street and then come right back. But it got me thinking, well, who else could I contact? Can't call my mom. She's dead. So there's no talking to her. It's like, well, if I had a phone, because I thought, well, I could go to my neighbors and, hey, can I borrow your phone? I was an idiot and locked myself out of the house. But I don't know my neighbors that well. And I'm sure they would have let me use a phone. But again, who would have I called? The people that I know, none of them really live close by, not real close by. So, and most of them could have done nothing for me. It'd have been like, I could call you guys. What are you going to do? You guys are across the country from me, And so where TJ was mentioning, all of his friends, all the people, they're scattered to the 4 winds. That's kind of how it is. And it made me realize just kind of how vulnerable you can be. Is like I said, I'm sitting there thinking about it, and it's like, well, God, if it would have been dire straits, I could have busted a window and got back into my house. And at least at that point, survival would have trumped, homeowner insurance claims and deductibles and all of that kind of crap. But luckily, where it's not that big of a deal, that my imminent survivability was not on the line, it's like, I guess I just got my exercise for the day. But, it would have been nice to have had someone else close by that either could have picked me up, drove me over to my dad's, or that they could have had a spare key. Something where because the whole way there and the whole way back, I was thinking about, I need a better plan B than this one. If I ever lock myself out of the house again, which it could happen, it may never happen. But if I do, I really don't want to have to hoof it 5 fucking miles, there and back to get the spare key to my house. So I need to come up with a better plan B. But it made me realize just kind of how alone you are, because it's like, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to get online if I would have had my phone and been like, oh, hey, I'm stuck. What do I do? Not much you can do.
Yeah, I have a few buddies in the area that I have spare keys with, so I got that covered.
Well, and that's good.
My place is such that I can't lock myself out of it, so
that's nice.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. If you just have one of those I guess you turn the lock on the knob and then shut the door.
Yep.
You're fucked.
And it's habit,
Yep.
it's total habit that I do that. And the thing is I've trained myself to always have my keys. This time though, and that automatic training was always there, that I never lock the door without making sure that I have keys in hand. The problem was they were the wrong keys, and I wasn't paying attention, realizing you grabbed the wrong keys. It's just, I have a set of keys. I got the keys. Okay, lock the door. And as soon as I shut it and was going to lock the deadbolt, that's when it hit me. These aren't the right fucking keys. And it's like, God damn it. And had it been earlier in the day and I would have had more daylight, I could have probably picked the lock to my car and opened my garage and got through my house that way. But it was already starting to get towards dark. And it's like, I don't want to, if I would have had a key similar to my car key door, I know I could have popped that lock in probably about 30 seconds. Yeah, I would have set off the car alarm and all kinds of shit and made it so that the car wouldn't want to start, but at least I could get in the house. And then I could, reset everything on the car with the fob.
Gotcha.
But it's just one of those things that, okay, I'm running out of time. I don't have time to fuck around. I'm not going to bust the window to my car and deal with a car insurance claim. I'm not going to bust the window to my house. But it made me realize, okay, I need a better plan B, and so, and I've got a couple ideas, that was one of the fun things, that thinking about it the whole way there and back, that it's like a couple ideas popped up that it's like, now that could work, because, I'm thinking, do I leave the key with somebody? Well, I could do that, but it better be someone I trust, because basically I'm just giving them a key to my house.
And that you have their phone number memorized.
Yeah, that too. That do you have their phone number memorized so that you could call them from any phone anywhere type of thing? And are they going to be home? That's another question, because, okay, you live down the street from me, Vince, but you're out with one of your girls and you go out to dinner and a movie or something. And hey, I lock myself out. I call and either you answer or you don't. Well, you ain't home and it's going to take you an hour and a half or whatever to get back home because you're out doing your thing. Well, I'm still fucked. And so it's like, well, I don't expect you to drop whatever. It's not that type of an emergency. But either way, I don't really want to be standing around locked outside of my own house. In
your own underwear.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially if it had been something like that, which at least thankfully I don't do that. I don't usually walk out of the house,
That would have been interesting if you just went out with like no shoes and like pajamas or some shit.
Oh God. Yeah,
I'm just gonna make a quick trip up the street. No.
Yeah, that would have sucked. Well, see, Bull Rush has got a good idea there too. That he replaced his lock with a push button code. And that's an idea. That's actually one of the ideas I had. And I've been kind of researching that and to get an idea of, hey, what's that going to set me back if I want to do something like that? And I've got a couple alternatives. So I've got it figured out. It's just, okay, I need to implement it is what I need to do.
Apparently I'm freezing up a little bit. You guys have to deal with it.
You're totally froze up, dude.
That's fine.
Oh, now you're back. You're back.
I'm just going to stop the cam for the moment. Fixes that shit.
Yeah, Marty, I don't have a doggy door, so that's not going to help me. So.
TJ is somewhere.
I'm here.
All right. Your computer's making that weird fucking humping noise again in the background, that little rattling. All right, that's good.
That's what she said.
That's right. Oh shit. Wow.
So you were mentioning, Rob, just all the stuff that just happened, and that's why I'm, like not remembering cell phone numbers and all that kind of stuff. This is why I get concerned about relying too much on technology. And we were talking the other night about how, I used to use the Garmin Nuvi direction thing, and now you got a smartphone that shows you direction and stuff. And it's really useful when I had a app that used your GPS because when I was in London, my phone didn't work, but I was able to find where I needed to go just by using this app because it used the GPS, and it didn't need self-service. So that was great. But on the other hand, what happened, and I think a part of it is just disaster porn type stuff. But when the system comes down, when the grid comes down, how do you deal with that, right?
Yeah.
Or how far do you? So I've got phone book, local phone book. So let's say the internet doesn't work. Well, I got a phone book I know who to call.
Yeah.
I almost want to find a way to print out all the phone contacts that I have.
Might be a good idea too. Keep it in your wallet.
Yeah, I also have
Back when guys carried a little black book.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have a landline for my phone. I do have a house phone. It's just not a landline, which I might upgrade to just as a backup because, if the satellites go down, but the phone service is I'll show it for Geek and Tell 1 second.
Cool. And your fucking computer's killing me. Jesus Christ.
I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, it was fine when you walked away. It was weird.
But I bought one of these. Yes, I get it for all the geeks in here. I know it's a cheap version. Let's get that out there.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Frequency mode.
Yeah. So it's a little CB radio.
Cool.
So I have one of those. I actually have two. I lost the battery charger for the last one, and it was cheaper to just buy another one. So now I have two. So I'll probably have one with my bug out bag. But I need to start learning how to use this stuff. I watched a video years ago on how to properly work it, but I want to be able to communicate with people if stuff happens. And who would have predicted the current stuff we're going through right now?
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, now it's gone. It was back for a little bit. Now it's gone. No, Drew, I don't think that's a ham radio.
No, it's not a
CB.
It's a CB radio. Yeah.
What brand?
It's. I know you're gonna kill me when I say this, but
God.
it's a Chinese brand.
What?
It's a what?
It's a Chinese brand.
Made in China.
You can't see it here. It's a cheap version, and that's the thing. I just wanted. It came in 3 days, right? And so now I got two of them. They're. I want to learn how to communicate, and frankly, you know what? I don't know if this probably will never happen, but if need be, Masculine Geek needs to be able to continue on CB radio if need be, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't stop radio waves.
Nope.
Well, I mean, they
You
can.
can, but it's harder.
Yeah, someone mentioned listening to cell phone communications back in the 90s. A friend had a ham radio, and we used to listen to cell phone and household.
I still have a scanner that can do that.
Yep, and household
before they changed them.
and the old household wireless landline. Neighbors, you could hear people fucking in their conversations and just get like complete laughs, no end.
Oh yeah, you'd hear everything like you'd picked up the other side of the phone, like you did as a kid, and you'd just cover the receiver. It was like that, except no one knew you were there. Yep.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
See, that's the other funny thing is just how our lives were arranged around the limitations of technology. Your parents would be on the phone. It's like, hey, I'm expecting a call from a buddy of mine, or like people were not allowed to use the phone. Not allowed to use the phone in the sense that, please don't use it because I'm expecting a call, right? Now everybody, like 12-year-olds have their own phones. So I don't know. I've always wanted to get into this stuff. So now I need to spend some time actually getting in. Probably going to be doing.
What the fuck?
What happened?
Your laptop, man. I am gonna fly out there.
Here, 1 second. We'll get this fixed.
Whatever you did there, it works. Oh, you muted yourself. Just stay like that.
It's TJ being brief.
Yes. Meow.
Meow. Oh,
Indeed.
bash it with hammers.
Yeah, that'll work.
Well, that would do it. Well,
Does the FCC know about this?
this seems excessive. It's funny because I've thought about that and I've looked into ham radios. And I know, during our time of pleasing the crown and civilization, anyone can buy a ham radio and listen to it, and actually, it's fully operational. It just comes down to, do you want the people who have spent the time and the money getting their permission from the FCC, from the Crown? Do you want them reporting you for not having an FCC license? Because a lot of those people, for better or worse, they're pretty draconian about it. They're very protective and proud of the fact that they have their technician's license or even a higher license. Because some of these people, even as a hobbyist type of thing, they've spent serious time and money in it. Because I know some of the base station stuff with the different wattages and power that you can put in and out of them, and the different types of antennas, you can talk to people across the world on a ham radio. And, even the small ones that are your kind of like your walkie-talkie size, the line of sight even on them is still many miles, that it's like, wow. And so
What?
Yeah, that was weird. It sounded like a fucking airplane taking off whenever you moved your microphone.
God.
It's true.
This is why I really never... People are always like, why don't you start your own podcast?
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't start a podcast.
Well, it's just like everything goes wrong with the sound. People are like, oh, the sound's too low. Then you're like, the sound's too high. I couldn't understand. It's like, good grief.
No,
Like,
I've never had a problem with your sound volume. It just whatever's happening now with your. I don't think it's the microphone. I think it's your laptop.
It could also be the camera itself.
Maybe. Yeah. You're fine now. I mean, it's.
I guess we'll just have to use a microphone.
Yeah.
A microphone.
Microphone. God damn it.
But yeah, it made me think, with everything that's been going on with the COVID thing and all of that, I started looking back into ham radio, both the operational, what do you need to have, what's kind of some of the better equipment versus, it doesn't have to be top of the line, but something decent. And I know a lot of guys, their top of the line stuff, it's kits they've put together. It's things they've literally soldered together and, like kind of welded together type of thing versus a complete package that they bought at the store. There's a lot of modification that you can do to a ham radio transmitter receiver that is within the legal limits and whatnot of FCC and other countries. And these guys, they know all of that. And so they've devoted a lot of time and energy and money to doing it. And that's how a lot of guys are able to talk to people across the world. But a lot of times, every community is going to be different. As I noticed in the chat, someone saying, we're kind of a libertarian bunch here. So we're okay with a little bit of piracy. And it's like, that's cool, and that's good to know. I mean, in a shit hits the fan scenario, I'm not going to give a fuck about someone turning me into the FCC. It's like, the FCC is not going to bother me. What?
Stephen wants to know, do you think ham radio make a comeback?
It never went away, Stephen. I know.
I think he means probably its popularity, maybe, because no one really knows too much about it.
Well, and that's the thing. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, ham radio is a lot like it's a niche thing, and it always has been. Okay, when CB radio got big back in the 70s, I remember CB radio when it first came out, you had to have an FCC license to do CB. My dad, on his base receiver at the house that's not even operational anymore, but he had a license that is kind of like a call sign like you hear on your FM radio when they say, KRSP or KTVX or whatever. He had a license for his CB radio. Well, then so many people bought them and were using them that it got kind of chaotic that the FCC pretty much abandoned the whole licensing of citizen band radio. Mm-hmm. And so anyone and their dog could get a CB and just start talking and nobody cared. But CB is a very short range, low power type of system that won't disrupt other things much. It can disrupt your television. It can disrupt if you're close enough to certain towers and whatnot, you can disrupt an FM station. Okay, your FM radio, a CB itself, if you know how to tweak them, can do that if you're close enough to them. Well, ham radio is a pretty powerful thing. It's even more powerful than FM radio. FM is very good for stereo because that's kind of the difference between AM and FM. Is FM is stereo where AM is mono. AM can travel further because of the frequency spectrum it's on than FM, but FM is very powerful in the short area that it's in. Okay, that's why when radio stations get syndication and you're listening to Howard Stern, but he's in New York, but I'm picking him up here in Salt Lake, it's not because the tower in New York could transmit all the way to Salt Lake. It's satellite is a big part of that as well nowadays. Never mind XM radio and all of that stuff, because that's all internet. But your ham radios, again, if you have a powerful enough, you can talk to anybody around the world. And everyone's always, the people I know have always been interested in it. You used to get a license with ham radio, you actually had to know Morse code at one point and be able to communicate in Morse. That was part of the test. That if you could not decipher and transmit a message in Morse code, they would not grant you your license. You had to know a lot of technical specifications, a lot of jargon and terminology. You had to know, like, if you wanted to get, I can't remember what they call it, if it's the general license or what it is. It's the biggest, it's like you can transmit with the biggest powerful base station type of thing, that you had to know how to build a system. You knew electronics as well as understanding, you learned about oscillation and sine waves and all these kind of crazy things that are what, guys that are into electricity get into. You had to have a good solid knowledge of sound waves in order to get some of the bigger classification of licenses, where the technician license, which is like your intro license, that was the one that initially you still had to know Morse code, but that was kind of about it. And then a couple other pieces of etiquette. Now they've dropped the Morse code. You don't even need to know Morse code anymore.
Yeah, it
doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's something that you can take the test in probably, 20 minutes, and they'll give you a temporary license pretty much on the spot. And then they'll mail you out a physical copy of your license. And much like your AM, FM major radio stations, you get a call sign that's yours. That is, that's your license. That's your identification. And at certain points while you're transmitting, you have to call out that call sign. So whether it's the top of the hour or every 20 minutes or whatever it is, but you've got to call it out every so often so that people know, especially the FCC, they know that, okay, here's one of the people that, they bought their license, they're pleasing the crown, and so they can transmit. But we have had piracy, of course, which is, hey, I got a transmitter receiver. I don't have a license, but I'm going to talk shit on the air. And it can disrupt other conversations because it's a lot like CB in the sense that while you're talking, no one else can talk. If, whatever channel you're on, when you're talking to someone, they have to wait until you stop sending. So you're not necessarily walking over each other, and it's not garbled up or anything. Well, if you're disrupting a couple of good old boys that they've been doing this for 20 years and you're some punk kid coming in and acting like a fool, they can triangulate where you're at, especially if you're stationary. They can triangulate that down fairly quick and have somebody knocking on your door, and now the federal, the FCC's getting involved. It's like, oh, we're basically committing felonies at that point, because if it's federal, it's a felony. And if it was a shit hits the fan scenario where, hey, things are actually breaking down, then I don't give a fuck about the FCC. They're the least of my worries. But maybe in some communities, piracy is tolerated. I know out here, not so much. The guys out here in Salt Lake, they're pretty draconian about, protecting their licenses, and that everybody better have their license. Everybody's a supporter of the crown in that respect. But I do think if people are smart, in my opinion, I would think that to answer Steven's question, will it make a comeback? I think you're going to see it become more popular, because I've even mentioned this, that if we start having actual system crashes where parts of the infrastructure start going down, whether intermittently or even potentially permanently, the first thing that's going to go is the internet. And that is the most fragile thing. We've had internet outages both locally and on larger levels where it took out several states from whatever happened, even though the people still had power. They still had running water. They still had their phones. They still had power, but they didn't have internet, so they couldn't get on Instagram and on Facebook for the day. Okay. That tells me the internet's the greatest invention in the world, but because it's new, it is extremely fragile. Even though, yeah, it's ARPANET, and that was designed for nuclear crises, all that kind of stuff, it's still a very vulnerable system. And yeah, if you get into a position, whether it's a shit hits the fan, or if you want, like TJ was saying, well, they can't really shut down the airwaves. And he's not wrong. It's like, well, they could if you're pirating and they really want to put a stop to you. But otherwise, it's a matter of, again, it comes down to line of sight. If I get a half decent transmitter and I go on top of Old Peak, which is up by Ogden, I'm not only going to be able to broadcast to the entirety of the Salt Lake Valley, but I'm going to be hitting points east of that, points west of that. I'm going to be hitting areas, I'm going to be blanketing about a third of the country. And this is off of a fairly small transmitter because of line of sight. Am I going to hit world status with a smaller transmitter? No, there's just not enough power to it. But then again, if I know where the relays are, which are repeaters, hey, I can tune, I can basically boost the signal through them, and then that can start a chain, which then that can go worldwide, even with a very small handset. And that's part of knowing how ham op radio works. Is, hey, I know ham radio. I understand the basics. You talk. What's there to know? Well, there's repeaters. And that's how you can get a small walkie-talkie one that can bounce a signal 40, 50, 80, 100 miles. Is because you're actually tapping it into a repeater, which then pushes it out there and sends it back to you. And those are usually on top of mountains. Those are things, and they're that's infrastructure stuff there.
I'm sorry, were you saying something? Could you
No,
repeat that?
I mean,
yeah, it's all good stuff.
To answer, or not to answer, but my thought is I'm going to err on the conservative side and say I think it's not going to gain so much in popularity. There will be people who've been interested who just who needed a little push.
This will be the push they needed.
This would be the push. But if you know how to do CB radio and you have one, you essentially become the messengers for your community in that kind of a situation where if you want to get a message out to someone, you have to go pay them, right? They're like the
telegraph operator of old.
Yeah, they're like the telegraph operator. It's like, yeah, that'll be $10, or that'll be 10 potatoes, right? Or it'll be a bottle of vodka or something, whatever it is, the bartering system. But yeah, everybody's going to have you can't be a worthless human being in those kind of a crisis.
No,
right?
you do need to have a skill.
You got to have a skill. So I'm actually going to start learning Morse code. I don't understand how people can actually understand it. I mean, I could do Morse code, but trying to actually decipher what you're hearing.
It requires, for the most part, unless you are literally like, not to use the term, but unless you're literally autistic, you're not going to decipher it in your head. You're going to write it down on a piece of paper, and then you're going to go back and decipher it.
Well, because I'm thinking more of like the letters, like,
right,
because they're so close together.
But that's the thing, because I've learned enough about Morse code that I understand where the breaks are, that it's like, okay. And most messages that are done in Morse code, once they've done their message, the messages aren't long. They're maybe a couple of sentences at most. They're not long. So we're talking maybe 10 words. Okay. And then what happens is they'll figure it out. They'll hammer it in, whether they manually tap it or they do a computer version now, and they send it out, and basically it's on repeat. It'll repeat itself, let's say 5-10 times over and over and over, to give you, the listener, the receiver, a time to sit down and write it all down. And then, and then you'll start going through it like with the old decoder ring, and you'll start going, oh, okay, you'll find a certain letter that, oh, okay, I know what this one is because it's 3 dashes or it's 3 dots or whatever. And then you'll start deciphering it based on that. And then you'll figure it out that sometimes, it's not perfect, that, oh, well, I missed a letter here, or I missed I got the words kind of in the wrong order, but it only takes you a second to figure out, this is what was being said. And then you can respond back to it, and that's usually, you'll write down your response, and then you tap it out and repeat it X amount of times for the person on the other end. Now for them to receive it and then decode it basically and decipher it and go, oh, okay. And so it can be, hello world, how you doing? We're fine. How are you? As a very simple example, or the one that I always remembered to this day, SOS.
That's the one I do now.
You get me, that's one thing that if shit hits the fan and I'm in deep shit, I can Morse code that all day long. And I know what it means, and I know the pauses in between, that anyone that has half a brain would be like, oh shit, he's transmitting SOS. This is someone who needs help. So that's one that I've never forgotten, that one. That's something I learned back in the Boy Scouts. So
yeah. I mean, I used to hear that message transmitted from Aaron Clary's house all the time. And I was like, I don't understand this. And it's like, oh, he needs help. We got it.
Yeah. That's right. He needs help. Absolutely, he needs help.
Indeed.
Meh.
Aw. Somebody came too late. That sucks.
That's what she
said. Hey, thanks, Steven. Well, everybody's saying it now. That's what she said. Yeah, and you know what? Steven said it too. Rob is the most interesting man in the world, and that's what she said.
She just said it to me.
That's true.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna spend as long as we're being under house arrest.
What's up, John?
Thanks, John. We appreciate that. Mr.
Christ.
His camera suddenly turns on and he's lying like half naked in bed.
Yes.
So
Nipplegate.
Nipplegate.
Yeah, Nipplegate. I'll be working on just improving the knowledge of CB radio. But it'd be more helpful if there was actually a group or a club or guys in the local vicinity who actually know this stuff.
Okay, well, now that you say it, TJ, here's the thing. Okay, I mean, if you want to do CB, okay, fine. I did it when I was a kid. I still have a unit that I can put in my car. Take me about 15 minutes to wire it up, get it running again. Okay, but with CB now, because there is no restrictions on it as far as licensing and all that, there wasn't even really clubs like when back in the 90s and even in the early 80s, there wasn't really any clubs. It is chaotic. Now, that doesn't mean that there weren't people out there that could help you and could talk to you, but trying to find them was like trying to find a needle in a stack of needles. Okay.
Yeah.
Most people, I mean, you could talk to truckers, and truckers could tell you all kinds of things, but most of the time, truckers are just talking shit to keep themselves awake.
Yeah.
So, and truckers they're in and out of the area because most of them are interstate. You know, a lot of your local truckers typically don't have CB.
I'm going to say
interstate guys.
I'm going to say something really cynical. So bear
Okay.
with me. I would go like, I don't know, maybe I'm being too cynical, but it's just based on my personal experience. Where you go seek out a club and you're interested in a topic and you're interested in like get learning about it from a club. If the demographic is like almost universally older people, I see it as a red flag. Because what it means is they're just not interested in teaching younger people. Now, some people are going to say, well, young people don't want to learn. You know, not everybody is. No, but you're telling me there's not a single young inevitably you figure out why. They're just not interested. It's like they're not, that's not what the club is for. That they are not, they have an interest in CB radio, or they have an interest in whatever hobby it is, but they do not have an interest in actually mentoring or teaching someone else about that stuff. So
with ham radio, from what I've seen, because a lot of the information that I've found, it's all online for one. And if you're looking for starting out as far as getting your feet, getting your toes in it, so to speak, there are all kinds of forums and whatnot that will get you the very bare minimum basics. And yeah, you're going to get a lot of shit, a lot of trolls, a lot of bullshit. But what I've seen with ham, because it is still FCC licensed and whatnot, and most of the guys around here are very jealous about their licenses, that if you're going to use ham, you better have your fucking license. But these are the guys that a lot of them are in clubs. They have, it can be kind of a worldwide club in some cases with some of these guys, because they all know each other's call signs. So they know who this guy is and they know who that guy is. And so instead of CB, I wouldn't bother with CB, just for the fact, because it's still, I can listen to CB on my scanner, and it's still the exact same chaos it was 30 years ago. And so nothing has changed there other than the quality of the headsets and the transmitters, but really it's the same thing. Where ham radio, on the other hand, yeah, it's a little more, you got to work a little more to get into it. But the guys who are doing it are a lot more, there you go. They're a lot more willing to help you out and work with you, especially if you're new. But just like anything, they're going to have a list of frequently asked questions that you'd better have gone through that instead of just expecting them to fucking hand feed you.
Right. Amateur radio. I just want to be able to use it, if I need to. You know
Bellevue, and of course.
Yeah, I don't live in Bellevue.
No, I'm just reading off the ones that I just.
But you're wanting to join a club, so to speak. Well, here you go. There's going to be all kinds of stuff that could be in your area. And again, with it being ham radio, because that's what amateur is. It's amateur radio. Just because the club's in Bellevue and you're like, oh, I'm way away from that. It's like, yeah, maybe physically you are, but radio wave, you could be in their backyard. So
why should I get licensed? Before you get on the air, you need to be licensed and you know the rules to operate legally. U.S. licenses are good for 10 years before renewal, and anyone may hold one except a representative of a foreign government in the U.S. There are 3 license classes: technician, general, and extra.
There we go. And I want to say it's the general is like kind of the master license.
There we go. Earning the general license class requires passing a 35-question examination. General class licensees must also have passed a technician written examination.
Yeah, the technician's your gateway in.
Yeah.
That's the only license I would be interested in getting, because I don't necessarily want to build my own station type of thing. I would be more of what TJ said, and which is why I don't care about clubs per se, is I just want to have the ability to use one in the event if shit hits the fan.
Right. And that's the point, is like, I'm trying to I'd like to learn from someone who actually knows how to do this, because sometimes YouTube videos or all this other stuff, that's not how I learn very well.
Well, you don't have to join this club, but you could reach out to maybe club members.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
there's always people that are willing to help you out.
Go on to meetup.com and just type in amateur radio. And
there's going to be something in there.
Try
somewhere.
that too.
There's going to be something.
Cool. So, gentlemen, this is ARRL.org.
Yeah, Bacon, you don't get to, it's your call sign. I don't remember how many letters it is. You don't get to choose it. The FCC chooses your call sign for you. So you don't get to, oh, well, I'm going to be, KUNT or whatever. It's like, no, you don't get to have that. They give you what they want you to have, and that's your call sign.
Kind of cool if you could pick it, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, cool.
But something for you guys to mull over, because it may come to that, whether it's a shit hits the fan scenario where it's like, okay, yeah, the infrastructure is breaking down because of one reason or another, and you need help, or you need to be able to reach somebody to be able, like TJ said, to pass the message on type of thing that, hey, can you call this person? My phone's dead, but here's a phone number to call and let them know where I'm at type of thing. And people will help you. Or it could be that, hey, you know what? Masculine Geek, we're sick and tired of censorship this way. So we're going to literally start an amateur radio station.
Mm-hmm. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. We're doing, as Rollo would call it, terrestrial radio.
There you go.
It would be something similar to that. So that's always an option as well.
On the air, see? On the Air magazine. There's a magazine for everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a magazine for jerking off.
I think Bull Rush and Nick wrote one about it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Right. This is cool. I'm glad we delved into this topic.
Yeah, Bacon. Anytime you get the government involved, you're right. God damn it, just like the military. Yep. When you don't get to decide, the crown decides.
Yep.
That's just how it goes. And
thank
so
you for your thank you for sharing your shitty CB radio, TJ. You're like, oh, you weren't even sure you wanted to share it.
Well, because I know there's going to be some guy out there who's really knowledgeable about CB radios, and I know they're going to say, "Oh, that's such a cheap version." Yeah, I get it. It's a cheap radio.
No,
right?
It's a good starter. What the hell?
Yeah. So, well, I used to have actually a ham radio that was given to me by a relative, but I had no idea what to do with it. Like I guess this has been my frustration and experience in life, is where people give you stuff, but then they don't tell you how to use it. So then you just have it. Well, then you're eventually going to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to use it. So, yeah, it's kind of a frustrating experience where people give you cool stuff and you just don't know, like, you have no idea what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
But then there's your litmus test. There's your acid test. To me, I've had that happen to me. People gave me cool stuff, or I gave stuff to someone, and they're like, "Cool, what do I do with this?" And I'm like, I'm going to be a prick. Figure it out, you know. And either they do, and hey, they're like, "Oh my god!"
If they're an adult, that's one thing, I guess. But when they're 9, little or a kid,
fuck them. Let them figure it out too. I had to. Fuck it. Let the 9-year-olds figure it out. Builds character instead of having to do accountability club. Let them figure it out.
CB radio. That's giving them a bike. Okay. Give him a CB radio.
Dude, I had a CB radio at 9. My dad had it, and he's like, that was after the licensing thing kind of got phased out, and he was like, just don't give out the address to the house and don't swear on it is all I ask you to do. But otherwise, he let me play around with it, and I figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah, I think
I was a 9-year-old kid talking to truckers.
Yeah, I
So-
think I had a different family. I'll put it that way. I think that's probably a fair way of putting it.
Fair enough. Rob, it's almost your time.
Well, we'll just start a few minutes earlier then. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that stuff. You know what to do.
That's right.
The Blues Brother Fan Club on Pirate Radio. Dude, sign me up there, Nick. I'll be one of your DJs on there since I did that in college too. I'll figure out the engineering specs of it. We'll make it mobile, then it can really be a true pirate radio station. We'll blast other, jam other radio signals, but we'll drive around and makes it harder to detect you and triangulate it down to you.
There you go. War driving.
Yeah, pretty much.
Vince gives free massages for Blues Brothers fans. Nah, you don't get a free massage if you're a Blues Brothers fan. Fuck the Blues Brothers. And fuck
Right,
your
we're gonna drive around in it.
Fuck your Stevie fan club.
We're gonna drive around in an old cop car, and I'm gonna get on
An old cop car.
Yeah, we're on a mission from God.
Oh, you dirty bastards there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Indeed. So what are you drinking, Rob? Your usual?
Oh yeah, I'm back to my usual. But this is only my second one today. I didn't wake up today hungover, but I was definitely dehydrated. That it's just like I woke up and it's like, I'm not hungover because I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
But it was just like, but I do feel like ass. It's like, it's like, I've got the headache going on. It's like, yeah, drink a bunch of water. You'll feel better.
Mouth tastes like the bottom of a bird cage.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I feel like, the cat shit in my mouth and I didn't know it. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, I walked in on a weird part of that conversation.
Rob's cat shit in his mouth last, or at least it tasted like that after his hangover.
Mm-hmm.
Rob,
but it wasn't a hangover. It was just dehydration. Like I said, I got some water in me and then I was good. But
Red, anytime you leave a message in our chat, we all get hard.
Yep.
That's just the way it is.
Bull Rush. Yeah, that Blue Moon did kick my ass. And there was another one that he had that I don't even remember the name of it now. Both of them were really good and they snuck up on me because it was like, oh, these are tasty and they were good. And I figured out it's not going to be that big a deal. That they definitely had more alcohol per volume type of thing than like the High Life does. Because I was starting to put them down, and the next thing I know, I'm just like, oh fuck, I am getting fucked up.
Oh, you got drunk on Blue Moon.
Blue Moon and a couple other things. And there was some other stuff that I'm not going to talk about that happened as well. So
I'm sure. It was interesting to watch you eat that like sort of like pseudo cereal last night. How was that? Was that good?
It actually was. Yeah, his little like cookie crisp brittle thing. Yeah, put that in some milk. It actually turned out really good. So
okay, you got that at what? Costco?
Yes.
Okay. It looked like chocolate bark or some shit, and then he like crushed it up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was actually really good. It was a lot of fun hanging out with him. He was going stir crazy, wanting to be around people. And that's where, he was a little bit, obviously disappointed that you guys didn't come out. He was really looking forward to it, as was I. But it's like, we get it. But that's where I was telling him, I'll still come down. It's like there's no sense in me not coming down.
Exactly.
And so
then we'll be out. We'll be out in September.
Right. And we'll do it. We'll do it again, but we'll all be there at the same time, and we'll all have microphones in our own hands type of thing, because his mic setup was pretty sweet.
Cool. So. As long as he has that chocolate bark cereal, we're good.
Yeah, he'll have it.
Meh.
Meh.
Aw. All right, let's get rid of this. We don't need that shit. It's good enough. Good enough for government work.
Meh.
Whoa. Now we're all like fucking huge and shit.
Just goes along with our egos, see?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I like the background though. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this I mean, I like the corner with the radio and all that stuff, but this just is better lighting, I think.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Is it too warm today, TJ, for your fireplace, or you just decide not to have it?
The thing with a fireplace is that you really got to keep tending to it, because the grate things fall down, and fires, you have to really kind of watch a lot more than a stove. You just shove wood in and it deals with itself. I mean, it's kind of chilly in the house. It's been warmer outside, and incidentally, I've got some, I think it's pear tree wood or apple tree wood, but it burns very quietly.
Red, that is, I found it on the internet a long time ago when I was looking for really cool kind of H.P. Lovecraftian themed backgrounds. And for a while, I had that on my laptop as a background. It's just an old decrepit mansion. I just like it. It's hard to see, obviously, because our thumbnails are covering it, but if you like it, I will send it to you. Steven has a question. Okoa, thoughts on land surveying as a skill to know? That's something that's not going to go away. I mean, when shit is getting built, I mean, you need a land surveyor, whether it's a highway or another, God forbid, another fucking strip mall. But wow, hairstyles, bikini pics. Yeah, that was apparently Rob. That was a friend of Skelton's. She's the hairstylist troll in the basement.
Right. That's a good summation. Yeah, no, she was having some issues, and he was like, I have room, you can stay here and pay me fucking rent. And so she took him up on it. And they were coming in the door basically about the time we were getting ready to broadcast, and he introduced, and next thing you know, he's like, hey, come on in here, bring in part of the show for a minute type of thing. Because her and her guy were like, what are you guys doing? It's like, we run a podcast, we're live on the air type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what that was.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. So like I was saying with the Morse code, ham radio stuff, just trying to do something useful. Right now I just started my garden. We got some stuff growing inside the house. I've been chopping. There's a whole bunch of trees that there's a whole bunch of trees that we chopped down outside the property. So I've been cutting that up into firewood.
Cool.
By hand.
That.
Not using
good exercise when you don't have the gym.
Well, I'm really starting to question. I'm not saying I'm not going to go back to the gym, because I like going there, but it reminds me of that line from Batman Begins where Michael Caine, Alfred says, what's the point of doing all those bloody push-ups if you can't lift a bloody log, right? Where he's doing all these push-ups in the earlier part of the film, and then he's struggling to get this log, that this beam that's fallen on him. And so I was always just wondering, like, what's the point of being able to curl, a lot of weight with a dumbbell, but you can't do some basic yard work for a couple hours? I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't. It's like, but that's. Oh no, I was also watching Dick Proennke's, videos, and this guy's in his 50s.
Yeah, they're fun.
And he's doing all this crazy stuff. He's dragging logs around. He was working 12-hour days for weeks. And he was in his 50s. So it's just like, was he a bodybuilder? No, but he was physically in shape.
That's what they call TJ. That's what they call retard strong. You don't look it, but you just can, bend horseshoes and shit. So think of Lenny from Mice and Men.
Yeah, but I'd rather be strong in that.
Oh, he's strong. I mean, I get it. You want to look strong and be strong. Those are the two that I completely get. Trust me.
Right. I also want to try and do workouts or lifts that are more that are less artificial. Like, I don't do bench press anymore, and people say, "Oh, you don't do," how much can you bench press? When do you ever actually do that kind of a motion in real life? You just don't. You never have that much. People will get confused. When you're doing bench press, you are concentrating the weight and the force into a very specific section of your chest, right? Like, because if you change your gripping at all, that impacts it completely. I can even my bench press is very dependent on what type of weights are being used. I mean, if they're shaped differently, if they're thinner but wider, as opposed to thicker and smaller, but the same weight, but they're just different. That affects your bench press. So, yeah, I'm not. I guess I don't put much stock into that anymore. Vince is frozen. Rob, are you frozen? Nope.
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Some with the video is off today. I can always jump out and back in, but I'll just stop the camera.
Yeah, kind of like my audio, right?
Yeah, it's all fucked up today. Your audio, this, that, and then Drew's saying no.
I'm reading a comment by Matt about the extension ladder. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Where you can lift a lot of weight in the gym. That's great, but that's not what matters to me. I want to be able to, hike 10 miles and then go do some extensive manual labor. I want to be that guy who can do a lot of that work for a long time, and so that's why I've been out, doing the handsaw manually. And just whatever kind of other physical fitness that I can do, because it's just more natural. And it's, I don't know. Kind of, I'm using this as a time to really re-examine stuff that I've been doing for a long time that maybe just wasn't good or wasn't like helping me. I think the other problem is I lift weights, but I also sit at my computer for a long time, right? In a very specific pose. I think that's actually one of my frustrations, is that my job is so sedentary. Is that the right word?
Sedentary.
Sedentary. It's so you don't move. I think I was more like physically and mentally meant for a active job, right? So I don't know. We'll see what we can do.
Fair enough. The chat is active now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, school time. I don't know where you came up with that quote. Like I know where it's from. I'm just like I'm trying to get the context.
How it's attributable to you. Oh boy, Rob's got to drain the old man bladder.
Yeah, see?
No, he's not. He's touching himself. He doesn't want you to see it. Rah. Pull up your pants, see? TJ the Bounty Hunter. Bail Bondsman. There you go. Bounty Hunter.
Bounty hunters don't get paid much.
What?
Yeah, I mean there was that one chick. She was the daughter of Lawrence Harvey. He was Travis in The Alamo. He played Travis in the movie The Alamo, and from what I read, she was making like $35,000 a year as a bounty hunter. Now this was 20 years ago or whatever, but I was just like you might as well go be a cocktail waitress, kid. Like what? I don't know.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what John's been telling. Modern Life Dating John has been trying to sell us on that.
Yep.
On what?
Living out in Japan.
I don't disagree. I mean, my experience with I'm going to pause on what I was just about to say. I would agree with what John is saying and what the comment was about, Asian women. I'll just leave it at that.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced it myself, but you hear it from other people, sure.
Yeah, so Sass was talking about how, doing a lot of manual labor, but the computers wrecked my health. Yeah, dude, that's the same with me. I mean, there's a lot of what I'm doing where I'm just dealing with the fact that I've been sitting for years in the same position, right? And you can go work out for an hour or two. So I'm almost like wanting to put a pause on the lifting. I do some basic lifts that are like push-ups, finger touching push-ups, upside down push-ups, and some other stuff. But now I'm really starting to do stretches and trying to, get like every 15, 20 minutes, I want to get up from my chair and go, walk around, do some basic stretches and all the other stuff. So I don't know. Well, that's one frustrating. That's one frustrating thing about this whole house arrest order is that, I can't go out and like go hiking and anything like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's what we talked about before. It's really the freedom is the option of your mobility, the option to go where you will and do what you want. I mean, for the most part, I mean, this isn't essentially. This is fundamentally this is business as usual, but then you don't have the option to do those certain things that that's on your list.
Yeah. Yeah, I might get a standing desk. Somebody was mentioning that in the chat. You know what I actually have? Maybe I can show you guys. So I have a desk over here. There's a desk right there.
Okay, an old writing desk. That's cool.
Yeah, I have stilts that I can put underneath it. That makes it tall enough to where I can write. The problem is that it's just a weird spot. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should go back to doing that. It's just I like being at the table that I'm at. I can look outside. I got a view. The mountains and the hills are in the background.
You can spread your work out on the table. Looks like it's a larger table.
Yeah, it's a larger table. So
okay. Yeah, it's a larger table, see?
Yeah, 50 on one for me.
Aw. Never fails to get a laugh and a chuckle. Rob, now you're I think you showed us one time your setup. Now you're in your kitchen, between your kitchen and your living room, right? Your setup?
Yeah, my setup is my kitchen living room is all one big area. And so cool. I'm more where the dining table actually is, because there's a lamp that I'm not using, but there is a lamp that was, pre-installed with the house, is kind of where it's the kitchen, the dinner table lamp.
Yeah.
So that you could light up your table. Well, I just use my dinner table, basically my kitchen table, as my command center. That's where the laptop sits, the speaker system that I have, that obviously you're not hearing it because I have disabled it for this. And then I've got the boom mic attached to the table where the microphone's hanging off of that. And then, of course, the green screen's right behind me. And then behind that is the back wall, basically.
Gotcha.
And so I'm kind of in the, not quite the middle of my living room, but pretty close. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in my den with a large dining room table. So I showed portion of that yesterday when I showed off the 3D Dungeons and Dragons tiles. Yeah, see? Aw. Aw. Yeah, my video is being a bitch today, so what do you do with a bitch? You ignore it. So I'm ignoring my video today. We'll see. I may dump out and come back in. And this is fine. You can hear my voice. It's cool. I'm here. I haven't left. You see my icon.
No, I just see an icon. I don't see your icon, just an icon.
An icon, yes.
Yeah.
Aw. You've made reference to leather several times, homeschool. I don't, aside from whips and floggers, I do too much leather. Nope. So maybe that'll clear that up for you. Dump her ass and go to Asia. Stop telling me what to do, Red.
Exactly.
God damn you.
Red Crusader coming into the chat acting like he's in charge of Masculine Geek.
I know. What
You guys need to do this and that. Okay, Karen, gotcha.
And send me the background. See, oh, is leather a euphemism for old wrinkly ladies? I guess it could be. In which case, I definitely don't deal with leather. Oh shit!
Yep.
Make it titties or something. Big set it, and then nothing will get done. You'll just be sitting there staring at them.
God, and that would probably get banned.
Probably. We'll take a screenshot. We'll go back to the Nipplegate and take a screenshot of John and have that as the background.
There we go.
Actually, that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, it would. John is nipple and Sharky. Yeah.
Oh man. My girl's cleavage. No, my girl's cleavage is for my eyes only.
Now find your own material to jack off to, see?
Exactly. Unless of course it's I have her with me during an official webinar where I mummify her. You missed that. So I'm gonna go talk to Modern Life John about viewing that.
That's probably what he's doing right now, is watching that webinar.
He probably is. He's spanking it to it. My cleavage red. No, you're not seeing my cleavage. Sorry. Rob will show you his.
Speak for yourself. Don't go Karen on me, Vince. Don't make me okay Karen you too.
Your cleavage?
Is it time for some dating whale pictures? Oh God.
No, that'll be for special occasions, and I think we'll make that part of our Patreon when we do talks about that.
Oh yeah. Dude, some of those screens that you sent me of the what the women want, that shit, that latest one you sent me where I said,
"Oh, just see,
not a human." That's
my God! Should I read that?
Oh yeah, dude, that's hysterical. I mean, it's sad because it's such a fucking stereotype.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Bull Rush. That was the most watched webinar, and everybody was just dead silent. Probably, I would say about a third of you fuckers were jacking off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see here. I think I still have the. Yes, I do. Okay, so it's sort of cut off because I wanted to get the main parts in the middle of the.
Yeah, we don't even need to see the picture of her because you didn't send me the picture of her. Just the bio was enough to make me want to fucking gouge my eyes out.
It's just complete shit. Okay, I'll start. Hypersensitive to sound, smell, and movement, which means that I am not the most easygoing person you will meet. That was a warning. I'm fairly political. I identify as a feminist. I am pro-cultural diversity and inclusive politics / pro-LGBTQ rights, sexual freedom, and alternative lifestyle / pro-Palestine and BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions, / reuse, reduce, recycle / 420 friendly. Looking for someone with whom I can share any combination of the following: laughter, engaging conversation, intellectual stimulation, music / performance. And at that point, I passed out. So.
Yeah, pretty much. It made me want, even hearing it again, it makes me want to eat a bullet because it's like, oh my God, this is the Karen of all Karens right here. That it's like, is this for real or is this something that somebody made up? I'm serious because it's
is someone just fucking goofing?
It's like, is this someone trolling? Because it hit all the check boxes, check boxes. They're all there. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Fucking unbelievable.
It turns out to be someone in the chat.
No shit. Right.
It's a man.
Oh God, no shit. There's that too.
It could be. Well, I mean, the pictures were.
They're raising his hand. Yeah, that was me, guys. Just to see if you'd
the pictures were pretty homemade. Unless it went, they did a specific like, I'm gonna find this chick I used to date. I'm gonna find 4 of them so I can put them in so it looks like it's real. I mean, it was pretty. It wasn't like, oh yeah, you know what? That's a photo probably somebody pulled off of an image site. No, it was really weird. But you never know. I mean, whatever. It's just the fact that was up there, and if it came across my feed, just fucking. I have to show this to TJ and Rob.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, kill me now. My God. I thought it's a wasteland out there from some of the bullshit I've seen, which was the final impetus to get me to get off online dating. But then to hear that one, I'm just like, dude, I think I would just be like, nah, I'm gonna go be a monk in the woods. Fuck this shit. Yep, fuck it.
Wow. That's serious.
Yep. TJ's like that. That's every chick in the neighborhood around here. What are you guys talking about?
Right? Yep. Yeah. Oh fuck. I'm tired today.
You know, Bacon, that you could do a whole goddamn show on that, dude. And I know with your way, your wit, and your charm, dude, you would have one hell of an episode doing that.
Yeah, just
you do however long you do your shows for, if it's half hour, or however you do it. But you could just totally just start going down the list and just narrate it out almost like a story. Be like, "Hi, kids. Today we're gonna talk about online dating." First, we have Karen. Karen
number one
is a 35-year-old woman who identifies as an otherkin. She's 420 friendly. She's also all about diversity and accepting one another's flaws. She also has triggers to sound, sight, and smell. She is someone who is hard to love.
Someone kill me.
And you could do something like that, get into your narrator voice and just fucking spin it, dude. It would be great.
Oh, Christ. All right, so Bacon just sent me an email with a screenshot and an actual Karen.
Actual Karen? A real Karen?
Karen. It's and she's a fucking registered nurse.
Oh God, even better. Karen the nurse.
There you go. Hang on.
We're gonna screenshot that shit.
Looking for someone who'd enjoy visiting the wizarding world of Harry Potter as much as me. I'm a single mother. I'm a single mother. Go figure. But there's so much more to who I am. I love watching snowfall, not driving in it. Fountain Diet Pepsi all day. I'm a fireball. Can you keep up? Fuck.
Oh God, I'm a fireball. Can you keep up? If you can't handle me at my worst, finish it for me, guys. Finish it.
No, we don't. Can't handle me at my mediocrity. Jesus. Fuck.
Give me cancer now, God.
You have ear cancer from all this shit.
No shit.
I do apologize. Yes.
Yeah, inner ear cancer. Gotta fucking cut my eardrums out.
Oh, indeed. Yeah.
Oh God, Karen.
Indeed.
The scourge of humanity.
One of them, yeah.
Well, she's got to be she's definitely bigger than the Spanish flu. She's bigger than coronavirus.
Well, she's up there with the other side. She's up there with the other side of the coin, the simp nation.
Oh, well, yeah. She's Anakin Skywalker when he first became Vader. She's leading the simp nation. Okay? All the simps are getting behind Karen. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choke to death here.
That's not good. Uh-oh, Rob's choking. Jesus.
He's doing a prostate exam.
That's why we can't hear him coughing.
He's probably calling up Aaron. He's like, "Hey, Aaron, you feel the same thing? Yeah, I feel the same way, guys. Oh, back in the day, it would have been nice."
I just got off the phone with Aaron. I don't have cancer.
Fantastic.
No,
Did you fiddle with your nuts to check them?
Yeah. Oh, God. That's right. I got coronavirus. I got coronavirus.
And you got the Kung flu.
That's right. Coronavirus. Oh, God, Karen.
We should have just let the herd get cold.
What?
I said, yeah, never mind.
Let the herd get cold?
Yeah.
Elaborate, please.
Well,
I'm curious of what all that entails. It sounds fascinating.
I'm like thinking, okay, quarantining is when you have people who are sick or vulnerable to getting sick stay inside, right?
Yes.
So my thought is, why is everyone else not allowed to go out?
Because they are the herd. They're allowed to go out. Even Drew has said it, and I agree. No one here in Salt Lake is going to throw handcuffs on me if I want to go out the door.
I don't know,
I'd like to see them. I honestly would like to see them enforce that, because that I've heard stories in other places, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it ain't happening here in Salt Lake. I can come and go whenever I want. That if I stay home, that's out of my own choice. That's not because of, well, if I go out the door, the coppers are going to get me and put me in the slammer.
Well, it's not about me personally. It's about the fact that all the businesses or services, or they close the trails in the park. Like and yeah, yes, I can go to it, but I'm not actually worried about government. I've said this before. I'm not worried about government.
You're worried about the guys that have shotguns and are sitting on their porches saying, "Cross my land, boy."
Well, I'm thinking more of also just, I don't know. People get weird. They just get weird. They get weird these times. And, I just, I don't know. But yeah, the fact that all the businesses are closed,
See, and okay, I want to address that. Okay. That to me goes kind of hand in hand with the quarantine. Government may or may not have issued an edict at some point to say you need to shut down your business, such as bars, restaurant type of things where you can't go in and gather in more than a group of, say, 10. Okay. While I see the point, I disagree with it wholeheartedly. At the same time, I also look at the business owner and I look at it and go, okay, government, when they started all of this, it was a suggestion. It wasn't a law. It wasn't an edict. It was just, hey, you guys probably ought to shut down. I would have been like, right, I don't think so. Okay. But they capitulated. The business owners, yep, we're closing up the doors. And so they did. Some of them are able to work from home, and they adapted by doing that. They're still running every day. People are coming into the office in a virtual simulation, basically. Okay. I feel bad for some of the restaurants and the bars and whatnot. I feel bad for some. Most of them I don't feel bad for, because it's like there is nothing written in a law anywhere that said you had to close your doors. They suggested it. You complied. That's on you. You're I'm hurting. We're dying over here. We don't have money because no one's coming in. Then go open your fucking doors. Well, but hey, it's on you. It is not a crime to open your doors. So if you choose to stay shut, that is a voluntary choice. I'm seeing it with local businesses that I feel for them. There's some businesses that, because people are afraid of a flu bug, they don't want to go in because they might get infected, that these guys want to open their doors, but nobody will come inside. Okay, I get that. That's not the business owner's fault at that point. But them saying, well, I'm waiting for the government to tell me I can go back to work. Why don't you just fucking go back to work? You're the business owner. Open your doors. What are they going to do? Seriously, what are they going to do? Is the government going to come?
Well, they have,
and
in my state. In my state.
That's because you live in communist Russia. Okay.
Hey, don't blame the Russians for this.
I'm just saying, but you live in you live in the People's Republic of fucking Washington. And so to me, there's an answer to that question too. Utah, some of the businesses here, because some of them decided, fuck it, we're opening back up because we don't want to go bankrupt. And they're open right now.
Right.
People can come and go. And yeah, Karen is fucking staring down her nose at him going, how dare you? And they're like, fuck you, Karen. I got to make my wage. I got to make a living here just like you do. They are fighting back in that sense, and people are going in. The only places where the government actually has any teeth in any of this is a government operated facility, such as the state-run liquor store. Yep, that's government. So they can say, we're only letting X amount of people in and X amount of people out. And if you want your booze, this is how we're doing it. And if you don't like it, then you don't get your booze. But that's state operated. That is state controlled. So I get that. But, if Walmart wants to open its doors and say, come on in, everybody, why not? There's not a law on the book that says you can't have people in here. You cannot open your doors. And so for businesses that are choosing to stay closed, it's a choice. And I'm doing the socially responsible thing. Okay, I get it. Hey, I'm not faulting you. But you are not legally bound to keep your doors closed. You are not legally bound to keep people out of hanging around in your business. You're doing that out of societal pressure. And if that's what you want to do, I get it. I can respect it. I understand, but I don't have a lot of pity if the money's drying up because you closed your doors because Big Daddy government made a suggestion that you interpreted it as, it's a law. No, it's not. Fucking laws. There is a procedure that has to go through. It has to.
Not in my state. In my state, it is a law. Like the governor has a lot of power.
Yeah, there are some places, Rob, that are levying fines, which is why when I made when I gave you that instance of the liquor stores yesterday, what municipalities and the state of New Jersey is saying, well, you do this or we're going to fine you. You get enough fines, we'll revoke your liquor license.
Well, like I said, liquor licenses, I understand that. Like I said, yeah, the state pretty much controls the liquor licenses and operates most of the liquor establishment type facilities here. So yeah, you're getting on board with that particular program. And it is what it is. But I'm thinking also of other businesses that don't need or have a liquor license, that it's like, what's stopping you guys from opening your doors? There's nothing stopping them except.
So in my state, there's a county where the sheriff announced that he was not going to be enforcing the stay-at-home order, right, on businesses or whatever. That same day, the governor did a press conference. The attorney general, freaked out. Like they all were like basically coming down on the sheriff, putting pressure. And the prosecuting attorney for that county put out a press release that's supporting the governor. Like, I mean. They will escalate as far, they say how far. I wouldn't put it above them to escalate all the way because they're not used to actually having someone else be stronger than them. They're used to being in total control, right? Yeah. So, in my state, yeah, I could see them bringing in the National Guard. Like that would not surprise me one bit. It would not surprise me where they're shutting down businesses and have armed guards in the streets. That would not surprise me at all. Now,
cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah, and now that's not my county. My county actually passed a resolution saying that I think it was for construction that they were going to allow it to continue, and they got letters from the governor's office on that saying that they would be legally liable if they allowed construction to continue, like that kind of stuff. It's just
not here in Utah. Here, construction's considered an essential business,
right? In almost every state except like 2, and we're one of them.
Well, we know where the red flag flies then, because in Utah, they not only is it essential. Hey, we want you to go to work and build the roads and all that shit because hey, this is going to end. And if you close down, why are you closing down?
Which is a good point too.
That you are essential. which to me, construction actually would fall under a true essential category.
And they should
especially
be
if they're doing fucking road work.
I was just say, do all the fucking road work now, please.
Well, there's not as much traffic on the road. Now's the time to rebuild the roads.
God damn.
There
was a comment in the chat too. Yeah, restaurants are open for takeout and pickup.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they're doing one of the places I will go to occasionally and get a burger or a slice of pizza or something. He was saying it's their business is about 25 to 35% less, and then their hours of operation when they're busy have flipped.
Yep.
So that's. I mean, they're still they're soldiering on. I mean, they're not making as much. They let a few delivery drivers go, and I think the guy that owns the place is running the deliveries, but he's holding in.
Yeah. So maybe I'm the one asshole who, you're unsympathetic, you're unrealistic, but I'm also more of the let me decide what I do with my own life. And
exactly.
Motherfuckers are afraid that I'm going to give them the bug, then stay the fuck away from me. I go in and out of businesses all day long. We are deemed essential, but when I look at it, essential to me is infrastructure. It's, do we keep the sewage going? Do we keep the power going? Do we keep the lights on and the heat going and the AC going and all that kind of stuff? That's essential. First responders, all that. What I do was classified as essential, but it's not actually essential in my book. But I look at it and go, okay, I'm in and out of hospitals. I'm in and out of clinics. I'm coming into contact with all sorts of people all fucking day long. I'm fine. And I'm not worried about it. I try to live my life as normally as I can.
Yeah. The basic infrastructure is still alive, well, and chugging along.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Business owners.
Business. No, I mean, no, I get it. Aaron, you guys are absolutely correct. I mean, on the surface, you feel bad for about 10 minutes, and you're like, well, you should have your shit together, whether that's personally or in your business.
Or both.
Preferably both. Both, yeah.
So in that sense, do I have a lot of sympathy? I have some, but not a huge amount. No. The small business owners, some of them I know, they're doing fine. They've adapted. They figured out something to do as an alternative. They had money saved up. Others, on the other hand, they're fucking drying up and they're getting ready to file bankruptcy after a month.
Yeah.
If it's that bad, fucking open your doors.
Yeah. One of the cigar shops I go to, there's a lounge I like to visit. They obviously can't have people in, but what they do is they do an online, you order online what you want. And you drive up and they come out and they give it to you.
Walk out and hand it to you.
There you go. So it's something. I mean, obviously it's not as much revenue as you get during normal business hours with foot traffic, but it's something to keep them chugging along. At least keep their heads above the water.
Yep.
So
I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm just a cold, heartless bastard, but
that too. But that's you own that shit. You heartless fuck.
That's it. And like AJ Baylock said, he's still seeing planes landing and taking off, and it's the same here. You guys would have run into a situation where you got to quarantine for 14 days because you're coming from out of state, but the planes are still taking off and landing on the regular here, and I live less than 10 minutes away from Salt Lake International, and planes that I'm not in their flight path, thank God, where you're hearing them and they're flying over the house all day, but I see them all the time. And it's like, oh yeah, the airport's still doing business. People are still going, getting on planes, getting off planes. So that hasn't changed anything. If the virus wants to travel, that's the fastest, most expedient way for it to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Given that you can get on an airplane and literally within 24 hours, you can be completely across the entire planet. You could start in China and 24 hours later, you're in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's like, hey, there you go. Or vice versa, whatever. I know for the United States, going from Salt Lake to pretty much anywhere in the United States, barring layovers, just actual flight time nonstop, it's about 6 hours.
Yeah.
I've done East Coast. I've gone from Salt Lake to Boston. I've gone from Salt Lake to fucking Woonsocket, Rhode Island. I've gone, and everything else is shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, going to California, that's fucking hour and change. Fucking Vegas is 45 minutes. It takes me longer to get through the TSA line and wait around to get on the plane than it does for me to fly to Vegas.
Yeah, you might as well just ride your motorcycle.
Pretty much. And that's what I do there, because I'm not going to fuck around and take my shoes off and dick with security anymore. It's like, nah, not when I can just get on the bike and 6 hours later I'm in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a nice drive down. So.
Half the airlines are about to go bankrupt. Well, that's.
You know what? And if that's the case, good, let them.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's like, you guys are multi-billion-dollar industries, and I get it. You got a lot of overhead, you got a lot of regulations and government interference and fees and licensing and pleasing the crown and all that shit. I get it. But if every time something comes up, oh, we're about to go bankrupt, then fuck them, let them.
Yeah.
Let them die, let them burn. And whatever rises out of that fucking shit pile when it does will be more efficient and will be better. It'll be a better airline industry because it'll be more competitive. So fuck it, let them. I don't mind the idea of, well, I want to see Vince. Well, I can't fly there because the airlines don't fly there anymore. So I'm going to have to take a bus or a train or something, or drive my car. That's going to take me a couple of days. No biggie. I get to see the rest of the countryside. I'll have a nice, enjoyable drive.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ride the motorcycle across the country. I've done it.
Yeah.
So, might take me 3-4 days total to get there. So what? I'll take 2 weeks off instead of a weekend.
There you go.
That's all it is there. So fuckers better figure it out. Otherwise, let them fucking tank.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it too much. Post office complaint for 10 years we have.
2-stop Saturday delivery. Amazon starts delivering on Sundays. And you know what? The post office here in Salt Lake finally got on board.
They do Sundays here too.
Yeah. It's packages only. They don't deliver regular mail, but if you have a package coming from the post office, they will deliver it on Sunday.
Yep.
That's them competing with Amazon and with some of these other guys.
That is the joy and the reason behind competition.
There you go. You either adapt and overcome, or you die. Yep. And so, the airline industry is bloated, and it's obviously the current way it's run. It's outdated. If every time something comes up, a hiccup shows up in the fucking system and the airline starts screaming bankruptcy, maybe we need to let them die. Maybe it's time that, maybe you guys need to revamp and rethink everything you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Because you've had it real good for how many decades?
If you're HP Lovecraftian, you'll get that.
Yeah.
You get Rob's gonna get the Innsmouth look.
Nice.
You get fucked by a fish dude, one of the deep ones.
Right.
Right in the ash.
Right in the ash.
Oh, Christ.
You guys are weird.
All right, Mr. Leaf Dweller.
I didn't say I wasn't. I just said
you guys are weird. Okay, pot, kettle, you're black.
What are you gonna be for Halloween, TJ? The pot or the kettle?
Yeah, which one do you want to be?
Susquehanna Hat Company. Tentacle penises. There you go.
Oh my God.
Tentacle porn. Yay.
That's not. Well, I mean that. I'm sure there's current Cthulian erotica now, but that's more of a Japanese thing. We can't. We'd have to take a bus out to do that. It would take too long.
You'd have to get one of those assisted living center buses.
There you go. Oh, basically the tart. That's what we called a tart cart in high school. Ye old tart cart. Let me start the cam up again, see if I can get the video in.
No, you're still frozen.
Am I?
Yep.
That's fucking crazy. me just pee into my cup here. I'm pouring my wine. Sasquatch porn is good stuff. I don't know. I haven't delved into that.
Oh my God! Someone stabbed me.
The old tarred baby cart. There you go. The tart cart. Rah.
Nah.
What the fuck?
What?
I don't know. It's something to say. Like,
Got it already. Yeah, getting old, see?
I'm just tired today.
Yeah, same here.
I went to bed late last night and got up early today.
Yeah, I hear you. Kind of did the same thing.
Yeah. We're old.
That's right. We're getting ready to go to bed. We're rock stars.
Well, it is almost 11 here on the East Coast. So.
Right?
Yeah. And for you, it's almost 9, right, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah. And TJ almost 8.
Yep.
Aww. Sasquatch orgasm cries.
Oh my God. Okay, this conversation's going downhill.
It's in the chat. I mean,
it's going downhill faster than Lindsey Vonn.
Oh,
Jesus.
I thought it was pretty witty.
That's not bad. It works. Well, it's good that we still. Well, TJ's back to work, but Rob and I still have our days off.
Oh yeah, I still got a couple more days to go.
That's right.
Thank God. Yeah, I'm so happy that I don't have to go back till Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm back on Thursday.
You'll get one more day than me. See,
one more day. I'm actually going to take the next couple hours each morning and clear out a storage unit that I have.
Nice.
Some monthly. I have there's one storage unit that I've been holding on to since like 2007.
Oh wow!
And it's got old like collectibles and stuff that I still want, but I can make room in here for, and then get rid of a lot of other stuff. Because it's like one of those sayings: if you haven't thought about it or actually used it
in a year,
do you really need it? Well, some of the collectible stuff, because it's in a environmental, one of those environmental regulated ones, so it's the air is a certain temperature, which is good for storing certain things. So like, fuck it.
Jesus, you are telling me it places the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. All right.
You what?
I said, Jesus, you're actually telling me it places the lotion on its skin, or it gets the hose again.
Oh my God!
You are doing the Buffalo Bill thing. All right, nice. I got this environmental thing for it. It keeps it from getting leathery.
That's right. It keeps books from getting moldy and
which that's
nice. and whatnot. So, what sort of ancient sex toys you got in there? Actually, the only thing I have in there is a cattle prod. So it's not a technical sex toy, but I do use it as such. Old Egyptian stone dildos? No, we've long passed those. That's right, Bulrush books. Books, old toys I had when I was a kid, I just held on to. Like, man, maybe if I have kids someday, I'll pass them. Nah, I never did. So most of those I'll probably wind up donating. The books I'll go through, donate most of them, keep a few. Just get rid of shit that's just laying around. So, wow. So that'll free up that monthly payment. So that's the plan. That's the plan for the morning for the next couple days. Clear out the storage unit. Yep.
1, 2, 3 for me.
Aw,
They're adorable.
that's right.
very adorable.
It's acquaintance for you, Rocky.
It's acquaintance. Aw, don't say that.
The one problem with the Looney Tune stuff is that there's so many of them. Like, I'm trying to think about how to.
Is that Rollo?
So what?
Is that Rollo?
It is.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh my lord.
You're out. The fuck?
Oh my lord!
We're talking about cattle prods, Rella.
Yeah, no, I'm like trying to think about.
Red. I'll actually do maybe not do a live stream, but I'll take some photos of the storage unit and some shit.
Yeah.
Cattle prods and lotion in that order.
Oh my gosh!
Indeed. Oh. It's pretty fun. It's funny because you're talking about shadow watching. If you're on Periscope /Twitch, that gives stats like who goes back and watches. I can see that. I know who goes back and watches the Periscopes. YouTube doesn't have those stats. It's just whatever. It's like
they do. They do, but they're not available.
Oh yeah, they're
not available to the users of the channel and to the public, but they have that information. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Right. No, I was saying like with the Looney Tunes cartoons, there's so many of them. You know, it would be great if there was like an online resource where they're online, because I don't want to go order all the DVDs so that I can have the episodes that I want to watch. Because they were doing it for what 50 years. So there's a lot of good ones in between there, but it's just hard. It's hard to it's kind of like with the Animaniacs episodes, I got to sort through them all. Like, okay, I have no idea which one this is. Right. So
that's whatever. I mean, I just want to be a player, so I guess you take that up with our current DM, Mr. Drew.
Vince, you're always a player.
Symbol crash at that one. Yeah. Player for life.
Red Crusader, no, YouTube Studio is not going to give you the stats of it doesn't track shit for you. You're still not going to know who watched your videos. So, as I use YouTube Studio.
Sorry, Bullrush. If you watched the Periscope, I know when you've seen it. You dirty whore! I can crack you, see?
The fact that you're watching this, even though we know you're watching it, the fact that you're here, the YouTube knows it, and if they wanted to release that information, they'd tell you.
We are drinking. We are drinking booze tonight, Gunt. That's actually that. I'm gonna screenshot that. That's gonna be the description for this one. So that's hang on.
Looney Tunes, cattle prods.
Yep.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I think that's what Red Crusader wants an ancient Egyptian dildo for Christmas. So I think we're gonna take up what do you call it? One of those
a GoFundMe.
GoFundMe for his dildos. Oh shit. But yes, Gun, we are drinking. We're drinking very slowly and with deliberation. I'm just sipping a wine and going back and forth between that and this water.
Speaking of which, I need to refill. 1 second.
Yeah.
One for you and 1, 2, 3 for me.
Aw.
There you go, Red Crusader. There. Drew gave you, here's your blueprint.
There you go. Break into a museum and steal. It belongs in a museum. Ancient sex toys. Isn't that like Ancient Aliens? We should have an episode of that. Ancient sex toys.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm not going to say it was sex toys, but it was sex toys.
Yeah, that's it.
Fuck. God damn. Man, my ass is dragging today. Shit. Tired.
Yeah, I hear you, see.
That could be a show, yes.
Ancient alien sex toys. Well, I'm not going to say it was ancient alien sex toys, but it was ancient alien sex toys.
That's right.
Yeah.
You guys are weird.
This is true.
Hello, Pot. My name's Kettle. You're black.
Yeah.
Racist.
Why's it got to be about color, Rob?
Because everything's about that. It's about aliens.
Oh my god, and their dildos.
That too.
Oh, God.
We're going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
It was already burned by the U.S. government.
Oh yeah, they torched that a long time ago.
Along with Karen.
Yeah, that's where the sex toys came into play.
Mm.
Oh, God.
Indeed.
Nah.
Nah.
Roxy.
Aw. So do you, Dr. Jones. That's right.
It belongs in a museum. So do you.
Good movie. I like the Last Crusader.
I'm sorry about your head, son, but I thought you were one of them. Dad, they come in through the doors. Good point.
I'm not used to being shot at. It happens to me all the time.
How did you know she was a Nazi? She talks
In her sleep. I was the next man.
Fellow travelers through the night.
Good movie. Oh, fuck.
I'm as human as the next man.
I was the next man.
God, what was another good line? There were a lot of good lines.
It was one of those movies.
It tells me that goose-stepping morons
morons such as yourself should try reading books instead of burning them. That's right. There was a classic scene when he's getting crushed in the German crowd, and he's like, he comes up against the Fuhrer, and he's like signs the very book that he's been fucking looking for. Oh, here's another yard for your homeschool. Oh, fuck.
The quest of the Grail is not archaeology.
At least your computer shut the fuck up.
Well, it's because I got the microphone on. Well, your computer hasn't fixed your visual problem.
All you need to do is hear my voice. That's all you need. It's not necessary to see me.
That sounds like something out of like a spiritual text. You don't need to see me. You just need to hear me.
That's right, bitch.
In an ASMR voice.
Yes. Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom.
What?
It goes 1, 3, and then 2. It goes 1, 3, and then 2. 4 didn't even exist.
Yeah, 4 doesn't exist.
Jesus.
Someone. Oh God. I wanted to. I mean, when the whole revolution is done, there will be a court of inquisition on Hollywood remakes, and it will start with. Probably won't start with that, but George Lucas and Steven Spielberg are going to get, they're going to get hauled up in front of that court and be like, okay, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and the prequels. You have a half hour to give your defense, and then the sentence will be carried out.
Half hour? You're being generous.
Yeah, we're going to throw him in a cell and make him listen to Jar Jar Binks for the next 30 years.
Or Howard Cosell.
Oh,
Yeah, there is a fourth one. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
They're doing another one.
They are?
Harrison Ford's going to be in his 80s.
Was it from a fucking was in the nursing home?
I know. I mean, Indiana Jones in the wheelchair.
And the fucking tart cart?
Indiana Jones and the Jazzy of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
What the fuck?
Oh, he's back. Oh, and he's gone.
What the fuck are you doing?
Back.
What are you doing, DJ? I don't know.
My hands are right here.
I didn't touch anything. Like it happened before.
I didn't do nothing.
Shit. I did nothing.
Boomers boomer teching. My God.
That's right.
Boomer boomed boomerly.
That's right.
Harrison Ford's going to play the mummy. Yeah, seriously.
There you go. Oh, Christ.
The geriatric of doom.
Yeah. You're right, Matt. It was a bit of a horror movie. It was probably the scariest as a kid because I saw that in the movie theater as well. I saw 3 of them in the movie theater.
Temple of Doom was trying to combine 2 30 genres. They were trying to combine the like horror movie genre.
It had a
with
Pulp
the-
Fiction dark, like a sort of like a Dark Shadows kind of, not Dark
Yeah.
Shadows. The Shadow, like in the beginning with the the 30s.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more of like the horror part, but then they combined it with the humor. Like there was these weird scenes where the humor was really, something out of Abbott and Costello rather than from a horror. I mean, Temple of Doom could have been done right, but
Nice.
you drank from the wrong chalice. Yeah,
He chose poorly.
seriously. No, yeah, no,
No, yeah, no,
yes, yeah.
yeah, no. Aw,
Oh,
no, they're adorable. That's right. What the fuck?
yeah,
You damn kids, get off my internet lawn.
yeah. Seriously.
God damn it. All right, so we've got 24 people watching, and how many likes do we have? What do we got? What do you? God damn it, Rob, do your job.
I don't know. I'm not on the YouTube page right now.
Neither am I.
We've got 24 people watching, 18 likes.
Okay, so we need to get like 6 more.
To help people.
See you, Drew.
Have a good night, Drew. That's right.
Smash that like button.
Little hat tip reference to the great one, see?
That's right.
Did you watch that episode, Rob?
Which one? Because he said it in more than one.
Oh, he did this. He did this episode where he just was going off on people who really emphasized the like button and subscribe, and also they're giving all the links. He goes, guys, if your audience is not retarded, they can figure this stuff out, right? So he's just like, yeah, I have a website, and then he says, look, if you need people to
that like button,
if you need people to donate to you for you to make a living, you need to go do something else. Because he had the Supergirl figurine doll kind of like donation thing as a joke, right?
Yeah.
You could buy the Supergirl. Help me buy the Supergirl figurine I don't need. That was funny. I need to go look that one up. When he gets angry,
on you from some Metamucil. That's funny. Happy birthday in advance, Copter.
happy birthday.
Aw.
to you,
Happy birthday
to you.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Schlantigaziliga.
What did you call me?
Something about Godzilla with a long schlong.
I'll take it.
You people don't know about Gaelic.
Well, that's pretty.
Why
gay,
would I? Because that's such a common language around here, you know?
Indeed. All right, we are at the exact 2-hour mark, so we're going to call it a night because Rob and I are 2 old men and we're tired.
That sounds like a show. 2 old men and we're tired.
2 old men and we're tired. There you go. So, without further ado, we're going to say goodnight. Birthday sing-along. No, we're not doing that. We already did that. Shh. So everyone, enjoy your week. We may do, since Rob and I are off, we may do some more of these random broadcasts. They seem to be fairly popular. We'll see. Look out for the notification alert in your email and your YouTube.
The series of tubes.
Series of tubes, yes. So, Rob, where can everyone find you?
RobSays.net.
TJ?
TJMartinell.com.
Awesome. Everyone, enjoy. Sleep well. Keep the fires burning. Keep moving forward. And we'll talk to you soon. Later.